Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to HWings Aviation and welcome to episode 1 of Project LHBP. Today we're gonna have a look at the planning job that went into building this model airport. So therefore, this is the first episode of the series, the build series on this model airport. To learn more about the general project, don't hesitate to check out the link somewhere up there. So the planning job for this airport was probably the longest part of the whole build process because there was no accessible data. The main tool I used to have dimensions for this project was the ruler on Google Maps. So I measured the different buildings, the different sizes. I tried to guess some measurements through pictures and through comparison with airplanes parked nearby. Then I had to decide what I wanted to do with the whole project, with the whole airport. Initially, I wanted the airport to be quite versatile. I wanted it to have seasonal textures so that I could put some snow onto it, or at least, snow recreation onto it. And it also came through my mind to put some lighting on this airport. I dumped those two ideas because it's very complicated, and for the second option it's quite expensive. So as I told you, the planning job was the longest part about it. So I had to find pretty much everything about the build process. I didn't know what materials to use, I didn't know how to make textures, I didn't know what to do basically to get to this point. So I went on to websites, I went on to forums, I learned a lot on railway modelism. I'm French, I guess you can tell. Railway modelism. I learned a lot through model trains. Also, Instagram was a huge help because I've been able to find model airports that had been made and that were extremely realistic already, and therefore I could get in touch with the people who built those model airports and get advice from them. So for what's about the data, I had a big folder full of paperwork on this airport, on the measurements and so on, and I lost it. It was basically about 15 to 20 pages about the buildings, the sizes, the materials that would be used, and tests that I did with different material on different stuff. For example, this is some transparent plastic for windows, toothpicks for... I have toothpicks for color samples. Initially, I wanted to reproduce Budapest airport. So what I did is I took the measurements on the internet. That took me about 2 to 3 months to get all the measurements to see how the airport would look like. And then I made the buildings of the airport in 3 dimensions on a program called Blender. It's fully free and it allows you to print in 3 dimensions if you have a 3D printer. So when I got those measurements and I set to make some patterns for the buildings, I decided to make those in paper to make sure that the dimensions were correct, that they looked pretty good, and to make some tweakings on, well, those dimensions. This is Terminal 2A right here. That's the Sky Court, and at the end is Terminal 2B with the pier. This is Terminal 2A made out of paper. I made the airport in 3 dimensions using paper, not to have, the buildings ready, but in order to have an idea of how big the terminals would be, how much material would be necessary to build the buildings themselves, and to have an idea of the placement of the different equipment. A second source of information which was absolutely essential was Flight Simulator. Using Prepare 3D and LH Simulation's Budapest Airport scenery, I have been able to access information that I couldn't see from the satellite view of Google Maps. That's how the planning went for this airport. As I came back from Hungary, I started working on the project itself. The start of that physical work will be the subject of the next episode, episode 2, which will be about the ground textures and the plates that you can see, the basis of the whole project. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't hesitate to leave a like, a comment, and to subscribe for more of this series. Don't forget to click the notification bell so that you are aware of when the next video comes up. Thank you once again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon.